Hi, folks, and welcome to Hypnosis Health Info. I'm Roger Moore, and I'm excited to talk to you today and share with you about Slender for Life, hypnosis for weight loss. And I'm particularly excited to have Dustin Sturgeon here with me today. And Dustin is a Slender for Life weight loss success. Normally, I don't refer to people as success stories until they've achieved their goal weight and been at it for a couple of years. But Dustin is such a remarkable story, and I just am excited that to have him share his story with you. And so, Dustin, thank you so much, first of all, for your willingness to share with us. And I just honor and congratulate you on your marvelous success, how well you've done. It's just I'm so happy and so thrilled for you.
Thank you so much for having me on.
It's my great honor. You know, Dustin, you and I have never been in the same room together. We've never met face to face. All the work that we did was online, just like this.
Yes, it was.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you live on Vancouver Island, BC. Dustin, when we first connected, that was October 7th of 2013. So, and this is October 31st, Halloween of 2016. So here we are 3 years later. And you and I worked together for about 2 months, actually. And so, Dustin, how did you first learn about Slender for Life?
Well, Richard Nongard actually was a client of mine at the time, and I had talked to him about it, and he had referred me over to you, and like I say, I'm really glad that he did. So,
Well, when we first connected on October 7th of 2013, what was your weight? Do you know?
at the time, I didn't know because like there was not a scale that could weigh me.
So you were over 500 pounds, is that correct?
Yeah, by the time I found out, it was around the 500 mark. So it was pretty shocking for me to see that number, and quite embarrassing for me too. I had to actually go to the bariatric clinic, and the scale that they had at the time was not available. It was out. So down in the renal clinic, there is a scale that they wheel patients onto in wheelchairs and just
Uh-huh.
subtract the weight from the wheelchair. And that's where I had to go. So it was pretty embarrassing. But I believe the number at the time that came out on the little ticker paper was 487.3. So really up there.
Okay, and how long after you started with Slender for Life was that? Do you remember?
I believe it was around the December mark when I actually weighed myself. So
Okay,
yeah,
so a couple months.
yeah, it was.
So you had a pretty rapid release there in those couple months.
Yeah, I started tracking on the Lose It app, where I was going with my weight and tracking the calories and that and such. And the first 50 pounds went really quickly.
Okay, wow. You know, I hadn't seen or heard anything from you for a while now. And I think it was just last week that I saw something that you posted on Facebook.
Yes, yeah.
And I saw your photo. And I was just so thrilled and so excited because this is just remarkable when I look at your photo there of where you are today from 3 years ago. And that is just so incredibly awesome and amazing. And again, I just congratulate you for your success.
Well, I think, when I posted that photo and I saw kind of how many people were, shocked and were like, wow, good job. It made me feel really good about myself and made me want to try even harder. Um, and, when I go to the pool and I'm swimming, and it seems like every time I'm there, somebody's commenting and going, wow, I can't believe how fast you are. And it's like, oh my God, I don't feel like I know what I'm doing, but either I look like a complete fool out there and not, splashing around, or I look like I'm giving it my all, and I truly am, because I really want this for me. So, and it feels good. I remember I was at the edge of the pool, and this guy was on the other side, and we're both panting. We're like, we're out of breath. And he says, "Oh, that felt great." And I was like, "You know what? It did. It felt awesome." Right? And that's where I kind of learned to really like that feeling that you get from exercising, your heart rates, I just enjoy it very much. So doing the Slender for Life thing kind of made me wake up a little bit to what life can give me. And, being out there and exercising, it just feels amazing.
Had you tried to lose weight previously?
I don't remember ever actively doing it. Like I remember trying some pills, like herb pills and that sort of stuff in the past, but never really, trying.
How long had you been overweight?
All my life, I would say. I was looking at some of my photos when I was looking for that one, a comparison from a few years back. And I always remember being quite big. Even when I was in university, I wasn't as big, but I carried my weight on my chest and my abdominal area there for a long, long time. So,
Okay. And what has changed in your health in these last 3 years?
well, when I first started with you, I also went to see my doctor, my family doctor, which I've never saw before. When we had moved to Souk, David and I had both gone to find a family doctor, and I never went. I was kind of signed up as this was my family doctor, but I never went. I was too scared to.
Okay.
And I had gone to a few appointments with David, and gone in there, and it was, I think, his diabetes consultant guy. He had kind of made a comment to David that I should really come in, and that's when I started doing, okay, I got to do something.
Okay. And so what's changed? Where are you at today with health-wise?
Yes, I had my blood pressure was quite high. I had gone in for some tests because I was waking up with migraines, and I was sitting up at the edge of the bed at night, and I'm like, I didn't know why that was, and I had gotten one of those, I think it's called an oximetry test, where they
Okay.
measure the oxygen level of your blood and that sort of thing. And I had severe sleep apnea, so so I had the oxygen mask at night for the apnea and the blood pressure. That I had warning signs of possibly becoming type 2 diabetic. So, and that's all gone now.
Okay, so today blood sugars are healthy, blood pressure
Good. I
normal.
actually, even my heart rate on my new smartwatch was telling me my resting heart rate's at 48, which
Awesome.
I guess is near athlete level.
It
So
is.
I
It
was
is.
pretty excited to read about that. So
All right, good for you. So, what is your goal weight?
ideally, I'd like to get to 185,
185. Okay. And today you're at what?
190. Or sorry, 290. Not quite there yet.
Okay. So, you've come down 210 pounds,
Yes,
and you have a little over 100 to go.
yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So, what has and you and I, like I said, we only worked together for a couple months, and my recommendation to folks is, that we work together throughout the entire process of time it takes to take the weight off. But this is so exciting for me because we only worked together for a couple months, and then you went on your own, and you've kept going. How have you done that? What's made this work for you?
That's a very good question because, when I'm in the sauna and the topic comes up, right, about my weight loss and all of this, people are looking for, oh, it was just that, right? It was just, you're meditating and you're eating right. And it's so not just that. It's a psychological thing that you helped me with overcoming, the reasonings why I was not getting out and was not active, right? And that was that I had this need to feel like, I had to include, David in with me in activities. Like I was
Okay.
keeping myself using that as an excuse to not go out, to, oh, I should wait for him, right? So giving myself the permission to say, yes, it's okay to do things without, your spouse or your partner. And so those emotional reasons, I used hypnosis for, right? The psychological, why am I overeating? Why, is it stress? Those types of things. So I listen to your MP3s, at least once a day. Like it's not every day, but it's pretty close. So
Okay.
I normally listen before um, I go to bed at night. So, and just whatever I'm feeling, whether it's, okay, do I really feel stressed? Recognizing, being mindful of where I'm at emotionally. And that's why I really like your MP3s where you can kind of choose, so is it stress? Is it I'm overeating? Do I need help with making friends with my appetite? Or how am I feeling? And each one of those MP3s did a little bit, more for me emotionally. So
Excellent. Yeah, there's. I've actually forgotten how many different recordings there are, but there's 9.5 hours there. I know. I remember that much, but
yeah.
there's a lot of recordings there for you to choose from. Jumping back for a second, you triggered a memory, recall. As if I remember correctly, you were kind of a recluse. You didn't leave the house. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
graphic designer, right? So my office is right here, and I was using that as an excuse to not leave. And I think it was one day David and I had decided that we were going to walk to the bus stop, which is about, at the time, it was about a half an hour walk. And I walked up the block, just a block, and I felt like I was completely winded, and it was a horrible feeling. It really shocked me at how, oh my goodness, how much of a problem this really is for me. So seeing those things in my life gave me some motivation to make some change.
And that helped get you out of the house and get you moving more.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was, the work was an excuse. I think I was making excuses for myself. And being that overweight, I didn't like being out in public. I remember being very uncomfortable. Um, and you become a hermit, right? You don't want to go out. You just want to stay home, and you want to send your spouse out to go get McDonald's, right?
And now you're going to a swimming pool and to the sauna.
Yes, yeah, I go pretty much every day. I'm a regular. There's a few of regulars that I talk to all the time. So yeah, that's actually where I found my handyman that helped me, do some renovations around here. So
Okay.
yeah,
And something that I heard you say, you talked about walking to the bus stop and getting I think you said a block,
yeah,
and being winded, and it felt horrible.
hmm
And I don't know if you remember, but when we first started chatting here today, you talked about swimming laps at the pool and being winded and how great that felt.
it's a totally different feeling. It's hard to describe. I know a lot of people get frustrated with, oh, I have to go to the gym or whatever. But for me, I find it such a relaxing, calm for me in my days where I can, zone out and kind of digest everything that's gone on my day. Or if I have a problem, trying to figure out something, programming wise or whatever for a client, it gives me that time to think, and I feel so much better, right? There's often times where I'm like, I don't want to go out, I don't want to walk. And I find those are the best times to do it because you go out and you do it and you come back and you feel energized. To jump, I guess, a little ahead here, I was stuck for quite some time at around the 315 ish.
For
And
about how long?
it was almost 8 months. I was stuck for a
Okay.
long, long time. And it was super frustrating for me. And So what I found, how I got past that mark, was going back to actually listening to what you're saying. I know you can hear things, but actually listening to it and comprehending them in your daily life are two different things. You were saying, stop, you're taking your fork and putting it down, you're drinking water in between your bite, in between bites, and you're chewing your food more thoroughly, you're sitting at the dining room table. That never really occurred to me, and I felt like I just was not getting the full signal, right? Like I was eating and eating and eating, and I was like, I don't feel full. And it wasn't until I started doing that, this was only a few weeks ago, where I was sitting down at the table, not distracted by the television or whatever, and was drinking water and chewing the food more thoroughly, that I was like, holy, I feel super full. It was such a big difference, right? So I don't know what it is about that, if it's the water or it's just being mindful of what you're putting in your mouth, but that was the trigger point for me. And when I did that, I think it was a week and a half of tracking my calories and doing my exercise. I lost 10 pounds. So
Wow, good for you.
after being
Okay.
stuck for 8 months, that was a pretty good signal to me that says, this is what you need to do.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. And just another quick question here. How has your eating changed from when you weighed over 500 pounds to what you're eating today? What's different about the food you choose?
There's a huge difference. And I guess the biggest change was me deciding to become vegan. And
Okay.
that was particularly hard for me for the first 3 months. I can remember when there wasn't a steak big enough for me, right?
Yeah.
So I would go to the keg and order the biggest one they had on the menu, and I would laugh at the size because it's like, I'll take two. And now it's like meat totally disgusts me, and I know it does not no good for my body. I know even Arnold Schwarzenegger is now vegan. I don't know if you saw
Yeah.
that. But I thought that was pretty cool. So I showed my dad that. I was like, see, even Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So you're eating whole plant-based foods.
Yes, yeah. Completely 100% vegan. And we've cut out oils and salts completely. Like we don't have any oil, or we threw out the salt shaker. I know when my mother-in-law comes down, she's highly annoyed that I don't have table salt.
How about I'm just looking back at from back last October of 2013. How about potato chips and cookies and muffins,
Oh my God, yes.
chocolate?
I back in the day, I can remember going to our local deli here and getting the hugest container of seafood salad and the biggest container of Thai chicken, and that would be one for David, one for me. And we would have a six-pack of donuts because they were on clearance, right? And it's like, oh my God, it's no wonder I was so big. We look at it and it's like, do you remember we used to eat that whole flat of lasagna? So, big difference.
So what's taken the place of all the emotional eating that you used to do? You no longer eat the junk food, the crap food. You're eating healthy.
Well, I guess to replace it, I think there was lots of little things that you had said about making a cup of tea and enjoying the cup of tea, right? And we would. I just feel like I'm more hungry for life than for food now, right? Like we recently went out to. I had done a poster for a band, the Chris Buck band, and we were invited to go and see the show. And at first, we're both like, ugh, I don't know if I want to go. I don't, because we're kind of still hermits and we're scared to get out there. But we did. We went out and we had an awesome time. We had an awesome time. We were both on the dance floor dancing, right? So
Wow.
something I never would have done. Being 500 pounds, it's like, put me in a box and I'll just peek out kind of thing, right? But we were out there having fun, and it felt good. It felt really good. And
Wow.
David had purchased two tickets to go and see the Potters. Like it's a local play that's going on. It's supposed to be really good. So I feel I feel like I'm becoming who I really saw myself being, right? I've always wanted to be the business person and be out there shaking hands and being a part of life rather than being at home sleeping it away.
Okay. Yeah, you just gave us a beautiful hypnosis suggestion. It was, I'm hungry for life.
It's how I feel.
I just love that.
Yeah, I was watching a movie and seeing people, at an aquarium, and it made me, oh, I really want to go out and I want to see some sea life, and it's incredible. And the world is so amazing, and I felt being so overweight, I couldn't be a part of it because I was stuck in this body that wouldn't move, that was incapable of experiencing these types of things.
Wow. I so honor you. Dustin, we should wrap this up for today, but is there anything that uh, else that's important for you to share with the folks who watch this that you want them to know?
I have my family, they're all overweight, right? And I haven't found a way to really trigger that moment that I had where it was like, I'm going to change my life. And one of the reasons why I'm happy to do this video is I'd really like to do that for somebody else, because I had a lady had come over, it was the survey lady, and she was really overweight, and I could feel the way I did when I was 500 pounds. I could see it in her. I could see her swollen ankles. I could see her breathing really deeply, trying to, grasp for air, walking up all of but 5 stairs into my patio. And the look at the chair, like, please tell me you have a more sturdier chair because that's not going to support me. And, I was talking to her, and she says I was her favorite interview because, we started talking about weight loss and, how I got started and getting out there. And I feel like she was somewhat inspired by that. And like I said, every day I'm the subject of conversation in the sauna, and I can see people getting inspired. And
Awesome. Wonderful.
yeah, so it's a journey. I guess my message would be that it's a journey. It's not something that's going to happen, quickly, and it's got to be a lifestyle. It's not just we're going to do this in the short term. It's how are we going to create habits and changes in our lifestyle that we're going to be, happy with for the next however long we live. So that's the biggest message I think I have.
Wonderful. Thank you. And you're so right on about the journey. I lost over right at 115 pounds 20 years ago and have kept it off with hypnosis and whole plant-based eating. And it is a journey. There are times where I find myself really tempted, or I find myself mindlessly eating too fast or too much, and it's that moment of, oh wait, I get that wake up call that, stop, wait a minute, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And being able to use the tools to become mindful and put the fork down and make conscious choices, that's just a wonderful change in my life. And I'm so happy to hear it from you. Dustin, I look forward or hope that we'll be doing this not too many distant months down the road here when you're at that 100 and, was it 185?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so another 105 pounds to go. And, if I can support you in this journey, please let me know. I beg you, I do urge you to go back to chapter 2 in my book, Becoming Slender for Life, and read that and listen to the accompanying tracks, MP3s that go with self-hypnosis.
Mm-hmm.
and get that into your day so that you have that self-support also from that.
Yes, very much so. It's, when you first start out and you're asking for help, I felt inundated with all of the information, that I was getting, books and ebooks and MP3s, and the doctor telling me this, and I had a dietitian as well, and she was filling me full of information, and I had, it was somewhat abnormal for her because she was not familiar with, the vegan diet. And I had taken a cooking class with her, and I kind of felt like a little bit of an outsider because I'm like, coconut cream, that's like 50% fat. Why are you using that? Right?
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, yeah, you're right. And I'm like, this is a weight loss cooking class, right?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's but when with all of this information too, I find it is good to go back and reread some of the things that you may have not actually comprehended. And I find that I had a lot of questions along the way, and had I just read some of the information that I was given, I probably would have been there already with this, rather than looking it up online, like how do I break this barrier where I'm stuck at 300 pounds, so.
Well, and also please know that I'm here.
Yes, very much
I'm
so, yeah.
an email away, I'm a Facebook message away, I'm a phone call away. So please, you feel stuck, call me, email me, ask. Let me know how to support you.
Yeah, I think it's a little, for me, it was probably a little bit embarrassing that I wasn't at my goal weight yet. It's been quite some time, and I was stuck for 8 months, and I was embarrassed about that. And, I think if I would have done that, if I would have asked for more help, I probably wouldn't have been stuck for so long. So,
Well, what's most important is you didn't give up, you didn't quit,
yeah,
and you went back, figured it out, and you're moving forward, and that's so totally awesome. So again, I honor you and I congratulate you.
thank you so much.
So Dustin, thank you. Thank you for your generosity and sharing, and please keep the best way of telling your story is to continue on, getting to your goal weight and being at the pool and just showing people how to live healthy, and keep up that hunger for life.
I will. Thank you so much, Roger.
Thanks, Dustin.